Hi lads and lasses, and welcome to Darts Coaching with Dynamite Dave. Is a really special and quite a personal one for me, as well as hopefully being entertaining for you and informative and what have you. It's just something that I feel really passionate about. The UK Open is my event of the year. There's loads of others, the World Championships, all the different European tours, but the UK Open is my favourite one. It's the one that I like to go to. And the reason I like to go to the UK Open is because I believe that it's our competition. Even though it's stacked against the normal player, you have actually got a route to get to it, which is through the Riley's qualifiers. Obviously being good in your back bedroom, then hopefully being good in the pub. County player maybe. Don't forget you can come straight from your back bedroom, straight into the Riley's qualifiers and actually get right the way through it. And do really well. Get into the UK Open and do really well there. Which is a couple of lads that have done that this year. Done really well. One of them that did really well, but we'll get on to that a little bit later on in the video. So today's video is going to be in 3 sections. What we're going to do in the initial section, so section 1, what we're going to talk about is the journey down to Minehead, what you can expect on the drive down there, what we did on the drive down there, when you get there, what the actual campsite itself is like, as compared to if you go to one of the other competitions where you're staying in an hotel, you've got to get a taxi, etc., that sort of stuff. So we'll go over that sort of information. What I'll do is I'll give you a rundown of the facilities there that at Minehead that I believe are good. So then what we're going to do is we're going to go over into section 2, and in section 2 what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you all about my favourite players, the people who I really enjoyed watching while I was there. A lot more people found me this year than me walking around and sort of like bumping into people. It's worked out really well. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go over into section 3, and in section 3 what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit about where I believe the game is going. I believe the game is going to improve drastically over the next 4 to 5 years, and I think it will be unrecognisable in a decade. So that's what we're going to do in section 3. So without further ado, and without any more chin wagging, let's get over into section 1. So let's go over there right now. Right, so here we are in section 1. So, what can I say about the journey down to the UK Open? It's a long one for us. It is a long one. It's a arduous and sometimes a bit of a torturous journey, to be honest with you. Especially if you can't get to go at the right times. Because from here, quite obviously, we have Stockport to negotiate. Depending, like I say, on the time of day, you've got the A556 onto the M6 junction to negotiate. You've got Birmingham to negotiate. And then you've got that huge empty run down the M5. So you run miles and miles. It takes, you must be on the M5 for a good 2 hours. So it's a good run down to junction 23, I think it is, where you come off for Minehead. So you're actually on there for 23 junctions. It's quite a long way. It's a long way on the M6, but it doesn't seem the same because there's more, I don't know whether there's more scenery or it just doesn't seem the same. It just doesn't seem as long. And then when you actually come off onto the A38/39 and start heading out towards Minehead, you're on the A roads for probably another 45 minutes to an hour, depending on what the traffic's like. Sometimes it can be an hour and a half or 2 hours, like I say, depending on what the traffic's like. But the run down there wasn't too bad. It was a bit of an heartbreaker this year because obviously we couldn't go in Old Ermine the Jag, because I aquaplaned on some water and ran it into an embankment on the motorway the week before we went. So it shakes you up a bit. It was a bit shaken up the first day. Then obviously you get the backache, the neck ache. I've been bounced about, thrown about, a bit ragdollified in the car, so I was a bit sore for a few days after that, leading up to actually going to the UK Open. And then when we set off, It weren't too bad. I did half the driving. Mrs. Dynamite Dave did the other half of the driving, so we were alright. We got there not too bad. Just in time for tea. Like I say, we set off at 11 o'clock and we got there at about, I think it was about 4:30, 4 o'clock, 4:30. And the food court opened at 4:30. What we do is we go in a silver apartment, which you'll see some photographs of shortly. So we go in the silver apartment and we get what they call the food court dining, which is the lower of the two. You've got food court and you've got premier dining. So the premier dining really means you get some croissants at breakfast and a bit more choice for the food. But to be honest with you, the food court dining, food's edible. All it is fuel for the weekend. You're not really that fussy when all you're doing is you're just going and drinking on top of it anyway, so it's not, you don't really want a la carte meals with dead fancy wine and stuff like that. So we find that's the best fit for us. It's gone up again for next year. We booked again for next year. It's worked out at £610 for next year, where it was £540 for this year. So it's a little bit more expensive. What we did this year was we paid an extra £20, and that was to reserve our accommodation. So basically next year we're going to be in the same chalet as we were in this year, which was absolutely ideal for me and Dolly, because me and Delore, we've both got things wrong with us. I've got obviously my replacement knee, I've got an artificial knee, so I do find it difficult going upstairs, to be honest with you. I'm not no spring chicken anymore, and neither is old Dolls. She's got something called greater chaw transfer, I can't even say it properly, chaw transfer syndrome in her legs, which means the bands that go up the side of your legs are all inflamed, and there's what they call bursts in them, which are pockets of fluid, and she has a tough old time walking, and she has a bad back and what have you, and it's, like I say, we're getting on. It's as simple as that. So the actual facilities, what we'll do now is I'm going to put some photographs up and I'll let you have a look at the quality of the actual facilities themselves. What we're going to start off with is the actual chalet. So what we'll do is we'll go and have a look at the chalet. So let's go and have a look at them right now. Right, so those were the photographs of the chalet. As you can see, it's basic accommodation, but very adequate. It's adequate accommodation. It's nothing like you get. It's not like a cabin on the QE2, but that's not what you're expecting from it. It's and for what you pay, I think it's fair enough. You get a flat screen TV, so you get a really nice, decent TV. You get a kettle, an iron, a decent shower and bathroom, a decent bed, believe it or not. The actual sleep that both me and Mrs. Dynamite had was really good over the thing of the weekend. I've got to say, I was impressed with the thing of the quality of the mattress and what have you. So that makes a big difference when you can actually get a decent sleep. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go on to have a look at the actual venue itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some pictures up now of the actual campsite. So let's go and have a quick look around the campsite, shall we? So let's go and do that right now. So that was a quick look around the campsite. As you can see, there's quite a lot of facilities on the actual camp itself. You've got a good few bars, a good few restaurants, some nice eateries, some decent places to have a drink, some decent, and you can go out onto Minehead and all you do is just out slightly outside the camp onto the first little roundabout outside the camp, turn left and just follow your nose right into Minehead Town Centre where there's a Witherspoons, so you can have something to eat there if you decide not to have the food packages. You don't actually have to eat on site. You can walk out, and you're talking 5, maybe 6 or 7 minute walk into Minehead, and it's a nice stroll, especially in summer. Beautiful in summer. Nice little stroll down onto the front there into Minehead, and like I say, you can always get a meal and some cheap beer in Witherspoons. The actual beer prices on the camp itself are exactly what you'd expect them to be. For a good pint of lager, you're looking at £5.30. For Carling or something like that, you're looking at £4.80. So probably much of a muchness nowadays. It guiles me a bit because the pub that I go in on a Sunday, which you lads hear a lot about, it's £2.55. So I'd rather pay £2.55 for a really, really good pint of lager than £5.30, but who wouldn't? Other than that, the actual food, like I say, the food that's cooked on the actual site itself, if you go to the chippy, it's really good. If you go to the pizzeria, it's really good. They do Cornish pasties, which are really good. Value for money, I'd say probably about 5, maybe 6 out of 10. Not real good value for money, but decent enough food, decent enough beer, decent enough facilities. Right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go on to the next little section. And now we've learnt all about the camp and what have you, and you have a look around there and you've got an idea of what it would be like to actually visit the camp and visit the thing of the UK Open. They also do the Masters in November, so if you're really taken with it, you can always do 2 trips there a year. Right, so I'm going to jump in at this point, interject, whatever you want to call it. I've been making this video now for about 3.5, 4 hours today, and I only got to the first little section for the simple reason is you've got a load of building up to do to start off with. You've got to get the pictures off the internet, you've got to get the videos that you're going to use, edit them together to make your insert, so it's quite a long process. So it's actually dawned on me now that this video is going to be quite a long one and way too long to do in one section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break off here, call it quits for today. So this video will go out today. What you can look forward to is either tomorrow or Thursday. It'll either be tomorrow or Thursday. The next one will come out, and what we'll do in that one is we'll talk about the actual players, the actual UK Open itself. So this first little video was covering the chalet, the actual site itself, and a little bit of a part of the experience. So what I'm going to do at the end here is I'm going to give you a little bit of a photo album and a couple of little videos and what have you of what me and Delore have experienced over the last 4 days. And it's been a great UK Open, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next couple of days. And like I say, what we'll do is we're going to talk about the players, and then the one after that will probably be a little bit about what we can look forward to in the future. Hopefully the way the game's going, the way the UK Open's going, and I hope you find it entertaining as well as informative. If you do, please subscribe. It costs absolutely nothing, and you're under absolutely no obligation whatsoever for anything. Doesn't cost you anything. All it costs you is a couple of clicks of a couple of buttons. So if you look underneath the video, there's a subscribe button. Right next to that, there's a little bell. So if you click on the little bell, you'll see every video that I put out, and it'll give you a little bit of a notification through either your email system or your text messages and what have you. Whichever way you get your notifications from YouTube, you'll get a little notification to say that Dynamite Dave's made a new video. So that makes a massive difference to my channel, and I really do appreciate it. I've got everybody who I've met at the UK Open this year, all the security guards and what have you, that we see them year in, year out, and it's just really good to see them. It's strange, it's like meeting old friends again. So thanks to all the security guards, thanks to all the beer angels. They were fantastic. You'll see some of them in the photographs that are coming up in a second. Right, so don't forget, lads and lasses, as I always say, and there's never a truer word said, you'll only ever get out of this game what you're prepared to put in. And always, 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 toe to the hockey, and enjoy what's coming now.
so far. Can we get 4?
Black is hit, but Michael Smith, the 141. It is on. It's still on. And there it's in! A 9 darter on the main stage from James Wade. A 9 darter on stage 2.